We went a month with winning one game. Normally when you go a month and you win one game, you're dealing with a lot of off-the-field issues. You're dealing with the team struggling, the culture breaking down. You're dealing with so many issues and you're worried about this thing just completely collapsing.
Haddon Heights ties it against the Night.
I was shocked by how easy it was to manage that, and all that credit goes to the seniors and their leadership.
Jesus Blanco has won it for the Silver Knights, and the Silver Knights move on to the Group 2 Finals.
7:30 a.m. Got that lifted.
And the whistle has blown. Your Sterling Silver Knights win South Jersey Group 2 for the first time since 1976. And the whistle has blown. Sterling has beaten Robbinsville. The scene electric, the student section storming the field.
They weren't the most talented team. They weren't the most flashy team. They just were the best team.
Sterling has scored! Jason Camardo has won it, and Sterling is the state champions!
Hello, I'm Travis Schmid, goalkeeper for the 2024 Sterling State Championship soccer team. This season was extremely long, tons of adversity. We hit many roadblocks, but we stayed consistent in our work. No one expected us to play in the state championship game, let alone win it. Here's a look back at our journey from start to finish.
Nice play up the slot. Here's a breakaway, a save, and now it goes in. And Cedar Creek advances on the goal. As they will be playing 2 o'clock at home on Monday.
So one of the things that we talked about was, what did the players want to do in the offseason? And I left it up to them. Do you want to work out? Do you want to lift before school? Do you want to lift at nights? I made myself available, but I left it up to the players. The players decided that they wanted to start, and they wanted to start early. And we actually had a disagreement because I wanted to go and let you guys sleep a little bit more, and they wanted to go earlier, and they wanted to start sooner. I wanted to start in March, they wanted to start in January. I wanted to go at 6:45, they wanted to go at 6:15. And, you know, I knew at that point that they were serious about actually committing to these goals and putting in the work.
2024 season, you know, we looking good. Boys just got out the weight room. Let's get it.
Cap. What's up, man? You know, 7:30 a.m. Got that lifted. Now, what time is it? 8:16. On to the field, bro. 2 hours. Ready for this year?
Yes, sir. Give me some. Drop the shoes. Drop the water. Everything.
Yo.
Yum, yum. Eat 'em up. Yum, yum. Eat 'em up. Yum, yum. Eat 'em up. Eat 'em up. Eat 'em up. I love my veggies.
Wait room.
No one's here to...
Hey, bro. We got P out here. Here we go. Oh my. You're busy at. Where is
Congrats today. You know, just gotta stay positive.
It's about to rain now. It's about to rain now.
On the inside, I'm screaming. We gonna get that work in today. You know, we have a game later today, so I think it's gonna be light.
Thursday, July 23rd. We getting that work in right now. We on Connor Maynard. Connor Maynard. Connor Maynard got daycare yesterday. Connor. First game. Hey, he's here to get He's here to score. Look at the camera. Look at the camera, brother.
Nah, bro. He a little mad that he got put in the daycare last night. Well, guess what?
It's cool though, because he's gonna make up for it in the season.
It's alright, because it happens. It's summer league. All right, he gonna get it done in practice right now. You know, new haircut, new hair. Both got new hair. I was supposed to bleach with him, but
Hey, now you gotta die, boy.
my dad won't let me. It's unfortunate.
The first game of the year, there was a decent amount of pressure on us because our original goal always is to win the conference. And to get a win in the conference, playing at Haddon Township is one of the toughest results you can get. I mean, we were talking about that game in March. So, I built that game up as a championship, and that was the mentality that we carried through every game after that point.
I was not letting our first game of our senior year season start off with a loss, so I kind of told myself I have to score here, I have to score here. I was manifesting me scoring, and thankfully I was able to put the ball in the back of the net from Quinn's cross.
Let's talk about the assists. I just cracked it up. I seen Jay. Beautiful placement, and that was something special to start off the season with.
So in the offseason, I met with the coaches and we talked about who should be playing where and what changes we needed to make. And the one change that I was sure of is that we needed Jason Camardo to play striker. And the reason we needed Jason at striker, my argument was always he was the guy that would make a play at the end of the game. He was the guy that we wanted the ball on his foot to make a play at the end of the game. What we learned in that first round was that the offensive side of the ball was going to be a work in progress. So we got some results. We were able to grind out the results we needed, but there was still a lot of work to be done. And I think one of the advantages this year that we had is we had a senior heavy team that also understood that. So when we went to a couple of those tough games at Heights, at Haddon Township, at Haddonfield early in the year, our players had been there before. And at that point in the year, we still hadn't figured it out. Who was going to step up, who was going to play where, how we were going to build our attack, what kind of team we wanted to be.
We lost that game to Haddon Heights, 1-0, but we're still 4-1 in the conference, I believe. And I definitely stay confident, the team definitely stayed confident that we were the favorites to win it. I think we just played loose after winning that first game, and especially in OT, it kind of gave us confidence, and we kept that confidence, we played loose, we had fun, and we were just able to put the ball in the back of the net.
I really think it was because we preach defense. Marley's is really heavy on, if you can hold teams to 1 goal or no goals, it really sets up the offense for a chance to win, especially in a tight conference like we play, and it's competitive, and teams are good. Having a solid defense that can hold it down is just what you need to do to win games.
I'll say it. I have the best defense in the conference, and just the team in front of me, I'm seeing 3 shots a game. I'm blessed. So
I think it comes down to chemistry. I think that our trust within each other wasn't really matchable to any other team there, because we've been playing together since we were like 4. And even though Max, when we were younger, he was a striker, right? Now he moved into defense, but our chemistry was already all there. And he just fit right in, and we've just been going ever since. And then Bright joined us, obviously. He started sophomore year, and then junior year got into it, and then this year we just flew. So I think keeping a goal, it was only a goal per game on average. I think that shows our level of trust.
This year I tried bringing more of a club style in my play instead of just a kick and run style like high school is, or how the Colonial Conference is. And that's really how I controlled it. I try to stay calm, I try to slow down the game, make it my pace instead of what the other team wanted.
Sterling on top always. Well, no other team, every team, Sterling on top, man.
The middle part of the year when guys went down with injuries was a blessing and a curse. It gave other players opportunities to develop. They got minutes that they might not have. I thought that was going to be really beneficial down the stretch because we learned about these other players, and we gained some trust in them.
I was feeling like pain in my left hip area, so I went to the doctors, and they said it was just nothing crazy. It was just like inflammation in my growth plate or something. Same thing I had in my elbow freshman year. Obviously Connor was one who kept the scoring going.
He played a big role in our attack, especially with me at the start of the season. And when he got injured for the non-conference games, I realized how important his role was, and it taught me that I need to step up and take responsibility on myself.
It was kind of hard, but I kind of like took it to the heart because I felt like the team really needed me, and I felt like they were like a missing piece of the puzzle. Oh yeah, Carson, my guy. He stepped up a lot. You know, Carson and Connor. You know, but especially Carson, he stepped up. He phenomenal player.
You know, it was almost like we had a different team every game, and trying to figure out, going back to the attack, trying to figure out how we wanted to attack teams. It was difficult because every game was unique.
It was a little stressful at first, but I think it helped me get used to the play and definitely helped in the state finals and sectional finals because I was like used to the pressure at that point. At the start, I was like a winger, and then when Marley's changed up the formation, like halfway through the season, I became more of a defender, which I was okay with because it's probably my strong suit.
Who comes to my head first is Jay Hoff. Honestly, I thought Jay Hoff did really good. He stepped up defensively. I thought he clamped a lot of people up.
After my first few games, I felt like I was playing for any other team. I felt really comfortable with Ant and Dean protecting me. It also helped that we had a really good midfield. Like Zeus, he was always near me, so he could kind of help me out if I needed it.
I also thought Carson and Ethan, they were good in the start of the season before injuries, but Carson specifically, I thought he stepped it up with me in the midfield when everyone went down.
I feel like the injuries that happened to me made me realize that I can't take this season for granted. So I feel like I pushed myself even harder after those injuries because I just wanted to give it my all, knowing that it was the last time we were going to play together.
I definitely feel like there was more pressure because, you know, you lose Jason up top, so then, you know, there's your goal scorer, and then Bright goes down and Anthony goes down, so that's two. We played a 4-back, so 2 of our defenders were down. You know, Anthony's the rod to the defense. He's our backbone. So, you know, guys had to step up, but at the same time, I was a senior, Dean was a senior, Max was a senior. You know, guys did their things, and we trusted the guys that filled in for them.
I had to step up and do my part early. I played center mid before in my life, so wasn't nothing different.
We went a month with winning 1 game, I believe. And so in terms of results, it hurt. Their leadership was still there, and the players around them stepped up.
The role I took on was, you know, getting in, playing a little bit, like 10 minutes, just giving guys breathers, coming, you know, off injuries or guys that, you know, were on the field or that were playing like the whole games and stuff. So getting on the field, playing like 10, 15 minutes, just giving my all, you know, giving the guys the breather.
Normally when you go a month and you win 1 game, you're dealing with a lot of off-the-field issues. You're dealing with the team struggling, the culture breaking down. You're dealing with so many issues, and you're worried about this thing just completely collapsing. This year, when we went through that struggle, there was none of that. I was shocked by how easy it was to manage that, and all that credit goes to the seniors and their leadership. And it was Bright's first game back. I believe it was Anthony's first game back as well. Again, it was a moment where we were all there, but all those guys were almost in preseason form.
Back on the grass with some soccer between the Haddon Township Hawks and your Sterling Silver Knights.
We were still managing minutes because they were coming back from those injuries, and we played well in that Haddon Township game, but we were not yet where we, you know, ultimately got to in terms of our level.
0-0 the score. Thank you all for joining us on Sterling Channel 19. I'm Daniel Leakin, joined by Max Zuback, saying so long.
Yeah, so this was the sort of reemergence of Jason. He had 2 goals in a Haddonfield game. He had gotten 1 game under his belt and had gone through it without re-aggravating the injury, which was probably the biggest positive coming out of the Township game.
We got a big rivalry matchup here happening at the Castle today between the Haddonfield Bulldogs and your Sterling Silver Knights.
And then in the Haddonfield game, we were able to unleash him a little bit more and give him a little bit more freedom. And, you know, it paid off with him scoring 2 goals.
Cal gets it over to the outside, looking across it towards the middle. A nice diving stop, and Kamara buries it! The senior captain making an absolutely amazing play for his 4th of the season.
First off, I was excited. I was ready to play. Felt the day before I felt a little tightness, but I was like, I'm playing. You know what I'm saying? I'm playing no matter what. I was excited. I was ready, and I think the adrenaline kind of put the pain away. I didn't really feel it much.
By Ethan Weitzel, looking for Camardo, going up the seam. Camardo ready to put this one on net, and he scores! Jason Camardo with his second of the game, the 5th of the season for the Knights, as they take a 2-0 advantage over the Bulldogs.
I was ready. Always playing Haddonfield, it's like I always have an extra motivation because it's our rivals, you know what I'm saying, Haddonfield. But being able to score there, it definitely was huge to bring my confidence back up and got me ready for the games to come.
The Lindenwold game, I think, was so important for us because they possessed the ball for long stretches of that game. And as a coach, I learned a lot in that game, watching our team out there unable to get possession of the ball and having to defend the way we did in that game. Even though we won the game, even though we were winning the entire game because we scored early goals, there was a lot of things that I took from that game that we were able to apply to, you know, some of those games down the line, in particular the state final.
All right, hello everyone, and welcome to the Castle, and we're back here with some boys soccer today, our first stream covering them this year.
Going into that game, we knew it wasn't going to be easy. Like, we knew we couldn't look past Lindenwold. They're a good team, and we went in there. I think we scored 2 pretty early. I think me and Connor had 2.
Lindenwold's always like one of those teams I feel like that's not talked about as much as a West Effort or a Heights or a Haddonfield on the conference, but they're always good. So, you know, as a goalie, I got to make sure that I limit the small mistakes I make, because I know if a ball's played in the box and, you know, I mishandle one ball, Lindenwold's going to have a ton of guys crashing.
One of the toughest road games the second half of our season was traveling to West Stafford under lights. Place that we haven't been playing recently, but in the history of Sterling versus West Stafford, under lights at West Stafford is usually one of those games you circle. They're definitely our rival in the conference, and you know, it was a big game for us. In the past 5 years, I would say Sterling and West Stafford have had some unbelievable games, and this was another one. I thought we played really well. I thought it was a highly competitive game, and we lost. And it was one of those games where we lost, and I wasn't that disappointed because we had figured some stuff out. I saw a lot of really positive things that I knew we could build on moving forward.
There's bad blood between us and West Effort. I feel like there always has been. And we beat them at home. And obviously they had some injuries, so they felt as though we kind of took advantage of that. I think we put a little too much pressure on ourselves. On talking about like a must win and like if we didn't win, like we're finished. It got into our heads and we didn't play as well as we should have.
It was hard because it was a night game, so we were sitting there waiting for the game to start. So we had to try to keep focus for the game. We kind of used that as motivation, and it kind of angered us, which I feel like was good. So we can use that towards our games coming forward.
So going into the Heights game, we knew that if we won the game, we would win the division, and if we lost the game, we would lose it. You know. So there was a lot of pressure on us.
As we are back here with some boys soccer, a big game for the boys today as they go against the Haddon Heights Garnets.
We did think going into that game that Heights had the advantage of, at that point, being half a game up on us. So we knew that Heights knew they didn't need to win that game. They could tie that game, and that would put them still in a really good spot. So we figured going into the game, Heights would be defensive, which they were, and we knew that we were going to have to figure out a way to generate a goal, and we weren't able to do it.
You got to give credit where credit's due. Their defense is great. We haven't scored to them in probably 2-3 years, something like that. So they've great defense, and all you can really try to do is get that like scrappy type of goal off a corner or something like that, because they sit so low in the back. It's hard to score in the regular game of play.
We had lost the prior game to West Defford to clinch the division, so this Heights game was a big one. You know, senior year, you don't want to let the conference slip away, especially in the last game of the season.
It was a loss in our books because we were the better team. We had more chances, and we just didn't finish. And we knew that we couldn't go back to that game, and that cost us the conference. So it was just a mix of emotions of being frustrated, disappointed, sad.
Game at Sterling against Heights, you know, that 0-0 tie really, you know, I sat there and just cried for 30 minutes on the field. And I knew we had to do something better than that. So we put in the hard work and the effort and ultimately won the state championship.
And that whistle that looks like that is game. That is the game, and it looks like just a very interesting ending to the game right there. Just as Sterling was making momentum, the ref blows the whistle, and that is the game, and Haddon Heights ties it against the Knights. So to put it into perspective for everyone at home, Sterling needs the Haddonfield Bulldogs to come in big against Haddon Heights in order to split the division against the Garnets, because now they have no shot to try and get another win. But for now, that's how it seems. So we're going to wrap up here at Sterling Channel 19. I'm Daniel Leakett, joined by Max Zuback, saying so long for now.
We took every single opponent in playoffs as if it was a championship game. That was the mentality we had all year. We were the 4 seed. We were playing Cedar Creek, the 13 seed. Their record was well below 500, and we prepared for that game as much as we prepared for the state finals.
Cedar Creek was a team that knocked us out last year. It was good to kind of get our get back and win that game and prove to. I think it was important for the team to see that we can really do this. We can win sectionals, win states.
Because they had beaten us the year before, you know, we were very prepared for that game. And the game played out pretty straightforward.
So last year, we lost in overtime to them. I got beat on a breakaway, and, you know, that kills me because I had done everything I could that game to, you know, try to keep the team in it, and I think we played a really, really good game.
So one of the things we saw on tape was that Cedar Creek was going to play a mid-block, meaning they were going to start their line of defense around midfield or slightly over midfield. They weren't going to press us high up the field. And that's also something that they did in part when we played on the previous year. So knowing that, we wanted our better possession players on the outsides in our back line, where we thought we could create some triangles and create some passing situations between those players. So we moved Dean to the outside, who's left-footed, good in possession. Dean probably had the most passes completed, most touches in that game because he was constantly on the ball. So we were able to actually run our system through our left back.
Their tactical ability and speed to kind of dribble their way up and press the defense forward, so they're constantly in the half of Cedar Creek.
This one played in front of a Sterling player, a header about to go in, and he scores! What a big moment for the freshman, Rafael Bautista, getting Sterling's first goal of the game.
I just wanted to like at least do something, whether it was assist or score a goal. So I was glad I scored.
Yeah, giving that ball up to Raf for the goal, man, it's a great thing to see. Seeing a player like Raf, a freshman, come in, work his way onto varsity and getting slower minutes, but then finally getting into these bigger games, he played a meaningful part in that, and the assist was huge, the goal was huge. But yeah, beating Cedar Creek after they beat us last year and sent us home, it was a great feeling.
And now Whitesell advances forward looking for Connor Maynard. Connor Maynard does have a lot of speed. He's going to get to the ball first, trying to chip it past the goalie. No goaltender in net. Camardo there to meet the ball. Camardo has an open shot. If he takes it, he's trying to take a shot on goal, and it's in! Captain Camardo with the goal. Great play by the Knights, a great advancement up the field as Jason Camardo comes to celebrate with the cameras up here. Has a little handshake with Ortiz. They do the A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith celebration.
When we scored the second goal, I celebrated right in front of their defensive line, and it felt great. It felt revenge.
One of the most reliable scorers on this roster, Camardo, and he takes the open net at full advantage.
As the final whistle blows, and Sterling getting this first round victory over the Cedar Creek Pirates, the team that eliminated them last year.
there was a decent amount of similarities between Barnegat and Cedar Creek, which I think helped because we were able to carry over a lot of the game plan from the previous game. And again, Dean was a major factor in possession. We dropped Jason into a position as sort of a target striker. So between Dean and Jason, Q was on the left flank in that game. Between the three of them, we were able to create that triangle that we thought we could keep the ball and build from that point.
The whistle blows and we are off. Here in the quarterfinal match, round 2 in the Group 2 playoffs between the Sterling Silver Knights and the Barnegat Bengals.
There on that one. That's always been an issue for him, but still, could he ever come in here?
And now bobbled. Jason Camardo trying to capitalize and he gets it in! Jason Camardo off of the bobble there by Kyle Wright. The Knights take an early lead over the Barnegat Bengals. It's 1-0 here in round 2 of the Group 2 tournament.
Well, it was a great opportunity to take it off of that bobble by the keeper. You can't let mistakes like that happen in this playoff situation, especially early on.
But scoring early is obviously important for the team, and I think we won that game 3-0. So that was a big win. It was a big win.
Weitzel takes it, looking for the back post. Anthony Ortiz crashing in and he scores! Beautifully done there between Ethan Weitzel and Anthony Ortiz. Beautifully done there by the Silver Knights.
Someone sets a screen for me, everybody else pushes people out of the way, and I run back post. And one of the corner takers, whether it be Ethan or Jesus, puts it back post, and I go and get it. You know, either I put it back in or I head it to goal. And when Jesus set that screen for me, and everybody got everyone out the way, I was wide open, and Ethan hit a line drive to me. And I usually use my head, but it just came straight to my foot. And I didn't want to mess it up, so I didn't use my laces. I used the inside of my foot.
Strong argument between
Yeah, but now this one being taken here with a little awareness here. Wesley Reich moving up. Wesley Reich looking to put a shot on goal. He takes a shot and puts it in the back of the net for the Silver Knights.
That's a great shot by Wesley. Way for the Silver Knights to take advantage of the confusion on the field. Refs need to make sure that they're 100% communicative.
Wesley Reich putting the third goal on the board for the Silver Knights, and that will most definitely do it, as that is the dagger.
It was off a restart, and the ref was a little confused but knew what his call was, so I told Ethan, play me the ball, and so he did. I just got around the back line, and I knew that goal would be the nail in the coffin, so I just saw my chance. I took it.
But the final whistle blows, and your Sterling Silver Knights are moving on to the semifinals. They will be going against the Eagles of West Deptford.
Yeah, this West Deptford game was one of the biggest games of the year. This West Deptford's always hard. It's one of our rivals, like Haddonfield, and going into that game, I knew it was win or go home. Obviously, and I knew how big of a game this was for me and the team. So during the day, leading towards that game, I was just locked in, not really talking. I don't really listen to music. It's kind of like a weird little thing that most people listen to music, but I don't for some reason. So I was kind of just locked in, not really talking to anyone, but I was still into the game with in my head and my heart and stuff like that. I was locked in and ready and energized for that moment.
I did a lot of meditation. I'm into that stuff. I journaled a lot. I prayed a lot. And I was taking the right steps to get mentally prepared for that game.
On their senior night, when they beat us, our goal was just beating them that night. And with them beating us that night and them celebrating every time they scored, it's just that motivation just to beat them this time.
Familiar opponent. I watched so many games on them. Games I've played against them, games they played against, Washington Township. I honestly didn't pay attention in school at all. So, watching those games in school got me prepared.
When you travel on the road to a team that had beaten you 2 weeks before, and is the 1 seed, and we have a ton of respect for them, and they got some players that we really feared, we're trying to figure out how we're going to neutralize these guys. The first thing you got to get your team to do is believe that they can do it. And That's sort of where the game plan started. And we felt like we had a really good understanding of their tendencies and what they wanted to do. So as a result of that, we were able to shift formations to take them out of that. And this was really the start of doing that pretty much every game, where we were going to shift formations. Sometimes throughout the game, we'd shift formations because we knew what the other team was trying to do, and we knew the formation that would stop that best. We score first.
Wiley trying to take a shot on goal here. Gets it over to Camardo. Camardo looking for the tap in, and it's in! It's in for Jason Camardo. Captain Camardo getting the first goal for the Knights in this matchup.
Felt great, especially early to put us up. I think it gave us some momentum.
West Deptford punches back.
Sterling looking to go into this half either 1-0 or better, but 1-0 definitely a great scenario here for the Knights to start, as now a big kick taken here by Cuny, and that one's in! What a shot there by Ryan Cuny. He scores an absolute banger for the West Deptford Eagles, and we are tied 1-1 between the Silver Knights and the Eagles here.
What was great about our response was how quickly we scored after that. And it's something that we carried on from that point. You know, we continued to punch back, and it's all about the mentality of the players on the field. It's all about their composure. It's all about the leadership.
As now Sterling looking to send it the other way. Carson Wiley looking to chip forward Bright John. Nicely placed there by Wiley. John looking for the crosser. He has Connor Maynor in the middle. He's looking to hit that one down, and it's in! Connor Maynor! What a head there by the sophomore from Bright John on the cross. And now Sterling taking the lead once again over the Eagles. It's 2-1.
It was a big moment in the game, I feel. It was kind of straight after they got an equalizer against us, and scoring it just gave me a little confidence boost in the game.
I felt like we were better in the beginning. I felt like they were much better at the start of the second half than us.
Delaney has it. Looking to send this one in. Urick's looking to put it behind Schmidt, and it's in! Urick's getting this second goal here for Sterling. Sterling players looking for an offside. It looks like they won't get it, and the Eagles knotted up at 2.
And that's when we made another tactical change. We switched our formation, and with about 20 minutes left in the game, with the score tied 2-2, I felt like we carried most of the play from that time moving forward.
So the second time this year, Mr. K, where we have entered penalty kicks in soccer overtime.
So we were really prepared for PKs. We had our 5. Our 5 had been working on it for weeks after practice, and Dean was sort of a distant 6. He was around. He had been considered as maybe somebody in the top 5 at one point, but at no point was it Dean's going to be a shooter. I didn't realize how hurt Anthony was. He played the rest of the game. After the game, all of a sudden he's being carried off the field, and it's pretty obvious he's not going to be able to take a PK. So, you know, right away the plan goes out the window because it switches up the order, switches up a lot of things. I went to Dean, asked him if he was ready to take one. He didn't hesitate. He said absolutely. The rest is history. We had the luxury of seeing them shoot some PKs previous in the year, so we had a pretty good scouting report on their tendencies. I think that helped Trav guess correctly and make some saves, or just sort of fluster them as they were taking their approach.
So Blanco getting set. Takes about 5 steps back. Getting ready here against Jason Hartman. Awaiting the whistle. Here we go. Blanco's buried it. Big play there by Jesus Blanco. Sterling takes a 1-0 advantage over West Deptford.
Jesus makes the first PK, followed up by Dean. Ice cold, makes it like he's, scored 1 million goals in his life.
So Sterling up by 1. This is the second shooter. It's 1-0. West Deptford's missed 2. Sterling has made 1. Now the second shooter for the Knights. Collins, whistle blows. Buries it! Collins has buried it for the Silver Knights.
Maybe one of the first goals Dean's ever put in the back of the net. He's been a defender his whole life. He steps up in the biggest moment, and he buries it.
Or Jesus shot before me. very confident. They missed both their PKs, so making that PK, seeing Travis celebrate behind me, and all my friends, lined up on the end line, it's a great feeling.
They end up tying it up, and we go to the 6-shooter. One of the things that I had been doing all along was trying to get the boys to not think ahead. So I was out there with them, and I constantly was reminding them that, it's sort of not over till it's over. And when we had the lead, that was my message, was you should be preparing as if you're going to need to make a PK to win this game. And that ended up happening. So when we got into the 6-shooter, the boys turned their back, and they weren't looking at Jesus. We had a lot of confidence. Wes Defford had already missed.
Whistle blows. Watson approaches. And he hits the crossbar! Watson has hit the crossbar! As now the game comes on the foot of number 16, Jesus Blanco.
Now it's just up to Jesus. And, Jesus is somebody who plays really cool, calm, collected. He took his approach that way to PKs. He was somebody who took a very high-level approach, which was he was going to make the goalie make the first move, which is hard to do because you have to take a slow walk up, and you're dependent on that goalie moving, and then you're going to shoot opposite in real time. Boys were looking at me. They didn't see anything, and as soon as Jesus hit it, I knew it was in, and I just said on to the finals, and they took off.
Come on, shoot! Put it in!
Blanco, a lover of the sport, a learner of the sport, and a knower of the sport for sure. Plays with a ton of heart, wears that captain's patch with pride. Trying to send his team on to the finals in his senior year. Number 16 could be the one to finish it here for the Silver Knights on Jason Hartman, awaiting the whistle. Both people seem like they're ready. Blanco, deep breath, and goes.
Blanco wins it! Jesus Blanco has won it for the Silver Knights, and the Silver Knights move on to the Group 2 Finals. What a moment for the boys!
Honestly, I didn't really think much of it. I was nervous at first, but then I just prayed and I told God to get my emotions out of the way, clear my head, and after that, took a deep breath and there was nothing in my head. It was absolutely blank. It was just me and the ball.
I went to Marley's first, but he kind of Hollywood me, so we're going to the chip. And nonchalant as he is, he ignored me. But after that, I cried, didn't know what to do. Hugged my cousin, Quinn, for a very long time.
That was amazing. I knew how much it meant for him. I knew how much it meant for the team. And when he hit that, this was like the coldest moments I've ever of Marley's life I've ever heard. We're standing there, we weren't looking at people who were taking the PKs, and Marley's was watching. And before it even went in the back of the net, he said, "On to the finals, boys." And I remember turning around and sprinting to Jesus, and everyone's crying, and it was amazing. But we still knew the job wasn't finished. We still had another game for the sectional championship.
So getting to a final was a goal, and we got there. When Trav and Jason and Ant and these guys were sophomores, and they were all on the field in that game. They all played a big part in that game. And now we're getting back to a final 2 years later, but the goal's different. Now that we've been there, now we want to win it. The disadvantage we had in the Haddon Field game was we knew they would game plan for us really well. And we knew, just like we had been doing to teams, they were going to take us out of what we wanted to do. And they did that. They made the game extremely difficult on us. They took us out of our style for a large part of the game. But we went for it. We shifted formations late. We added an extra striker, and we were going for it. We wanted to win it in regular.
Going to start this one off blazing hot. Anthony Ortiz is in the lineup tonight, or today, I guess, for the Silver Knights, wearing the captain's band. He went off last game with a little bit of a limp, and we're off here in the South Jersey Group 2 Finals. Thank you all for tuning in here between the Sterling Silver Knights and the Haddonfield Bulldogs.
So we weren't a restart team. I know we scored some big restart goals late in the year, but we weren't a restart team. That was something that We knew that these games late in the season were going to come down to one goal, one play. So we knew that it was going to be team goals or restart goals. It was never going to be an individual effort for us. So we spent around 20 minutes every practice working on service, getting the service down. In the Haddonfield game, watch the tape the second half, the service was horrible. And we missed so many opportunities to break through and to score that goal. We were hitting them out of bounds from 40 yards out. We were taking corner kicks, hitting them behind the net. We were wasting every single opportunity. And then we had one that we got right. So the restart play that we ran on corner kicks, we ended up running all year. And it was something that we took from an Arsenal game that I had watched over the weekend. The idea was we were going to run everybody near post to clear the back post. We were going to set a screen for our target player. We're going to run them into that space that was vacated by our team. We knew if teams played man against us, it would work really well. Even if there was a zone, it would still probably leave a one-on-one matchup with Anthony, who we felt like was one of the strongest players in the air. So we go and we run it for the first time against Cinnamon, and Wesley's job is to be one of the players to clear that zone, and he stayed there. We set the screen. Anthony's free. He runs right into Wesley's man, who Wesley's job was to take that man and leave that zone. The reason I talk about that now is to show that growth, because in the sectional final, it's the exact same play that we run. Wesley does the exact right thing, takes his man, in this case, out wide, and Anthony's able to run right into that space free, and he's able to get on the end of that ball.
Whitesell raising both arms, sending this one towards the net. A nice ball looking for the back post. Ortiz charging in. He gets it towards, and it's in! And it's in for the Knights! Bright John has put it in the back of the net, and Sterling takes a 1-0 lead!
An incredible moment for Bright John, not someone who's always a goal scorer, but this time around puts it in the back of the net off a corner.
And the super fans going ballistic.
In this case, the service was long, but Anthony was still able to get to it. He did exactly what he had been taught to do, which is just get that ball back across the middle. Bright was exactly where he was supposed to be, which was on the goalie, and when the ball fell to him, he did his job and buried it.
Oh, the goal. Honestly, prior to that, I was talking to the Ukraine guy at Haddonfield. He was all up on me, but I wasn't worried about that. But then when Ant crossed the ball, and it was just right there. And usually, every time I'm in the box and I'm about to shoot something, I sky. But this time, it was just perfectly placed. I just tapped it in there. It was crazy. I didn't know what to do. I was thinking about jumping on the fans, but I didn't know if I was gonna get a yellow card or not. So I just ran up to them.
It was kind of a blur, I'm not gonna lie. It was off the corner, obviously. I believe it was Ethan played it into me, right? So Jesus set my screen. It was a crazy screen because kids from Haddonfield, my friend Mike, he plays on Haddonfield. He knew that play was coming, and he told two kids to get on me, and they were like, grab my jersey and stuff, and Jesus just set the screen. I peeled off to the back, and then everybody went that way into the middle of the six. Ethan hit it. He kind of overhit it. I couldn't get it with my head, and I knew it was like that was our shot. That was our shot to win it. Like I had to get to that ball before it crossed the end line. So I kind of did like a karate move. And like I just stuck my leg up as high as I could and tried to put it back across into the box, and ended up going in off Bright's foot, and it just felt amazing. Like seeing the ball hit the back of the net. We knew we were one step closer to getting that sectional championship.
I know soccer's not his main sport. Like he knows it. The whole team knew it. But to see how much he cared when he scored that goal meant so much for me, and I know it's meant so much for him and the team. And to see him go cheer with the fans, it was surreal. It was a great moment.
And the whistle has blown. Your Sterling Silver Knights win South Jersey Group 2 for the first time since 1976.
an incredible moment for the now 16-year reign of Marlies to get their first title.
The first thing that went through my mind was pride. 17 years. It was special. It was really, really special. So I think happy doesn't even do it justice. It was a sense of relief. It was an accomplishment, not just for me, but my coaches who have been with me for over a decade.
It was amazing. I mean, we lost it, like you said, my sophomore year against Delran, but this team just felt so much different. I knew how confident we were and how much talent we had, and I knew that we could do this, and to be able to win the sectional championship with this group of guys and this team, and for Marlies and the coaches, it was surreal. It was amazing.
It's like surreal. We've been playing together for our whole lives, and we messed up in conference play, and it slipped away from us. But it just throw all that away. It was like this is just unlike anything else. I can't describe how I feel right now.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think it hit me in that moment. All the fans and everybody else were like over there on the other side of the field, but our defense huddled together and we celebrate. We showed that we were the best team in South Jersey, best defense in South Jersey, and it just felt great to get that done.
It wasn't cool, it was swag. I knew it was gonna happen. I knew it. Day one, you know what I'm saying? All the summer we knew we were gonna do it, and it's not really cool, it's just you knew it was gonna, one of the things you knew was happen, so I'm glad we got it done, because if we didn't, it would have been bad.
Definitely a really big game for us. Got business done. Looking forward to next round. And
I was happy for Marlies, my boy Trav, Ant, Jason especially, and just all the boys who just been playing soccer since they were little, because I just started 2 years ago.
I was ecstatic. We were going to a state game. We were going to play for what we all dreamed of playing for, making your community proud and your school proud.
On top of that, it was the boys, the special group of players that I personally have known for longer than they even realize. I was working with these guys when they were so young, they probably don't even remember me working with them. And I would show up to different trainings and I would get involved with their team and help them. It wasn't consistent periodically, and it was special to see them grow into what they grew into, and to become the men that they are, and to achieve something like that for this community. It was awesome. I think this was a perfect Sterling storyline because we like to be the underdog. We like to have the chip on our shoulder. There was a point in this program's history where I thought we lost that. We had been winning, and I thought we lost that edge, and we used to reflect that as coaches, that we need to get that chip back on our shoulder. And in the state semifinal, we had it because nobody expected us to win. We were a big-time underdog. That Robbinsville team is a class team. They had one loss in a year. They had an unbelievable season the year prior, making it to a state final. They have a storied history, and we're Sterling, and people don't see us the way we see us. So we had that chip on our shoulder, and we knew that they were coming to the castle and that we were going to be able to play with them.
They were ranked 8th in the state. They had 2 kids that their stats were up there. But we had confidence in ourselves, our offense and our defense. And we weren't going to change our ways of playing and jeopardize us winning that game.
Looking at the record, all this in South Jersey stuff, sports stuff about how good they are, a little nerves going into it. They have a top striker and senior class or whatever. So, it was going to be a difficult game.
I was confident the whole game, no matter what happened, I was confident. Everyone there, the atmosphere, all the girls screaming my name and all that, it's just, we do it.
I knew that we could win the game. I knew it was going to be hard, obviously. A lot of people doubt us. They were, the 7th ranked team in the South Jersey or something.
It was a little shaky going in, but we had the momentum. We knew we had the talent. The talent was never the problem. We had to put it together, but we came together and we put it together. But going in, it was definitely really nervous.
I feel like Robbinsville wasn't really physical, so I feel like we were winning in that aspect. But being back on defense on that, I don't really like playing defense like that. It's pretty boring, but I had to do what I had to do, man.
We watched one game on them, I think. Marley's found out they played Notre Dame on like a turf field, and I watched it and I noticed they were really good at soccer. But I knew they were a turf team. They only play on turf, so they weren't ready for the grass like us.
So mentally, I just had to just know, like, look, these guys are going to be able to score goals. They're probably going to get a ton of shots off. You know, they might be the better team. So, you know, mentally, I had to be aware of, you know, what I was stepping into.
Yeah, in a game like that, the first 20 minutes are really important. We just want to survive. You just want the players to knock the nerves out. You want the game to be, you know, to get to a certain point so that you can then start taking risks and you can then start, you know, kind of getting into the game. And soccer's unique like that. So it didn't go according to plan. They scored on us fairly early. And again, in soccer, it's a momentum thing where now you're just, let's get to halftime down a goal.
Pagani moving up, getting it towards the middle. This one chipped up. Collins there along with another Robbinsville player, and they bury it! Nice play there by Robbinsville. And the freshman, Noah Goldberg, getting on the board here early in this one. The Ravens take a 1-0 lead over the Silver Knights.
When we had got out there, I realized that, like, dang, these kids are good. Great possession, and, you know, I really hadn't let up too many early goals this season, and I didn't get the sense I was going to this game, but they had, you know, the ball had bounced around a little bit, and they got a through ball. And I wouldn't say the only reason the goal went in is because I lost my footing, but I did lose my footing and slip, and the ball beat me. But, you know, I was like, I got back up. I'm like, you know, it's so early in the game. We're at home. One simple mistake's not going to kill us.
Yeah, the strangest thing about the Robbinsville game was that there was moments where we really lost our composure. But in the toughest moments, we had this unbelievable sense of calm and composure. We give up the PK, hits it off the post, right to Trav. Trav makes a save. This PK in particular, I think, was similar to Jesus's. They wanted Travis to move. He didn't move. It threw the shooter off. So, you know, he missed it. He probably buries it 9 out of 10 times, but Trav stood his ground, and I think it affected him.
The first penalty kick actually, you know, sucks. You're down 1-0, you know. They get a penalty kick early in the second half that you go up 2-0 against such a good team like that, you know, that can just kill all confidence. But I really picked up on the way that the kid went, that he was waiting for me to make the first move. So he wanted me to commit, and I didn't budge. You know, I held my line. I just made myself look big, and eventually by the time he got up to the ball, he didn't have anywhere to go, and he shot, missed the post. I actually dove the opposite direction, but the ball took a beautiful spin off the post for me, and it just landed right in my hands.
And it's saved by Schmid! Hit off the post, and Schmid makes the collection, and I don't even think Shapiro could believe it.
It probably should be 2-0 right now.
Coming off that PK, you know, it's a little momentum for us because, again, if that goes in, down 2 goals against a quality team, it's going to be tough. We don't score a lot of goals to begin with. So a little bit of momentum, and then just like that, another one. And, you know, in this one in particular, we had a scouting report on this shooter. And we knew the direction this shooter was going, or at least we thought we knew, and Trav was prepared. Trav did his job and made a great save.
Second penalty kick again, I'm thinking in my head, like, this just kills. Like, 2 penalty kicks probably within the first 10-15 minutes of the second half, still down a goal. But in the back of my head, you know, I had seen Marley's and my goalie trainer, Mike Sowers, you know, yelling at me, the kid, he's probably going this way. They saw something that I didn't, and I picked up on that. And, you know, I stepped in the line, the ref asked if I was ready, and I picked up on the way that the kid's body was turned and, you know, his eye positioning. I could see he was favoring my right side. And I'm thinking in my head, like, if I save this, I think this might be what the team needs to be like, all right, like we can do this, like, we're not out of this game. And I made the save, and the first thing I did was I yelled up to the boys. I was like, you guys got to get me a goal now.
Awaiting the whistle. It blows. Nice save there by Travis Schmid! Schmid
sticks right. 2 for 2 on the penalty shots, and Schmidt coming up huge, the brick wall.
A much quicker approach for the penalty.
I run up the field like maybe 30 yards from the 50 to like there's the corner of the 18, and the ref calls a foul on me because I hit a kid, and I just got mad, and I think I was acting too brash in that moment, and then obviously my fouls started piling up, and the ref obviously had to give me a yellow card. I don't know exactly what it was for because I did hit the kid, but I did kick the ball away a little bit. But that first yellow card really summed up the game for me.
Rosano trying to chip this one forward. This one hits off the stomach of Ortiz, still fighting a physical play, and he's going to get that all day. That was a play there against Chris Lewis. Ortiz getting barked at, and a yellow card is awarded to the senior captain.
It's a third yellow awarded as this time it's another shove play while trying to get the ball.
When Anthony got his second yellow, it was tough. You know, down a goal, down a player, top defender, leader on the field, coach on the field.
I got that second yellow, and that red card was shiny. I'm not gonna lie. That red card was shiny, and I think I've only been given a red card like once in my career, and that was when I was like super young with Tarkill, our kid club from the town. And I saw that red card and my heart just dropped. Honestly, I knew I made a mistake, and it was caused because I wasn't thinking, and I was being too brash, too aggressive, and I felt like in that moment I let my team down. And my teammates knew it. I knew it, and I had to step off that field.
Whistle blows, and it looks like a foul. It's a yellow against Ortiz, and Ortiz is out of this matchup. Anthony Ortiz is out of this matchup. One of the players wearing the captain's bands for this Sterling team. Sterling down one, and now they will be short. Down one as well in terms of players, and we're going to take another look at it.
Ortiz could have grabbed the shirt there. They want to get another angle on it. He's going for the ball. He ends up getting it. And he grabs the shirt while trying to play some defense there, and it ends up giving him a red and leaves Sterling with only 10 men for the majority of the second half.
10 men and 2 captains now don't one in the game as well.
Yes, Jesus, drop it.
You know, seeing him get it and just the emotions and just how down he looked, it definitely was something that I'll never forget. Even in such a big game, like you can look back at all the positives, but I'm just more glad that I was able to get one more game with Anthony.
Ant going down was huge, and then you have Bright go down a little bit later. It's just you can't. You got to have people step up, and me and Dean were willing to go and step up, and I think Dean was willing to step up even when those players were on the field. He was stepping up and making plays. So I think he's a very underlooked player out there on the left wing. He was a crucial part of this defense, and I don't think without all 4 or all 5 of us, even the bench players, like the defense wouldn't have been what it been this year without a single piece of us.
As soon as he did it, I'm like, he's going to get kicked out because he completely threw this kid off his body. And my ears just popped because their fans were so loud. But me and Max, we've done it before without Ant. He missed a bunch of games, but me and Max stood strong. Jesus came back for center back and played great. So.
And I didn't know what was going through his mind there, but I told him on the sideline, I said, Ant, we're going to win this, bro. You're good. And I went out there, and from that point on, I was, not just me, the whole team was working their butts off, running the most they ever probably did, and the team never lost confidence, and you could see it in everyone's eyes. Like, we knew we could still go out there and win this.
Makes it so obvious how much of a team we were and how special the team was. So Anthony goes down, and instead of getting worse, we get better, which is opposite of what you would expect to happen. Players on the field, their belief only went up, their determination only went up. Everybody stepped up, and we just continued to fight. We were able to get in a situation where Robbinsville had fouled us a few times, which got us a chance to take a deep breath and got us a chance to move some numbers up the field. When we were pinned back in a run of play, it was tough to get numbers forward. So we had a free kick from midfield. We were able to play it in. At this point, I think this is where the boys' determination is really shown, because they were the first to every ball.
The winner of this matchup would go on to play either Harrison or Glen Rock. This one hit into the box. Carson Wiley trying to play. He gets it over to Bright John. John with a huge opportunity, trying to bury it and can't get it. Another opportunity for Sterling. Kaplan down. They can't get it. This one hit, and it's in! Sterling has scored! Carson Wiley, the man, the myth, the legend, buries it for Sterling, and we're tied at 1.
Down a man, but up a point.
I think somebody got fouled in the midfield. Dean took it, went bounced out, crossed over to Bright. Bright hit crossbar. Jason and Quentin were like right there. Got kicked out, hit right at my foot, and just placed it. Or it was like a reaction of just putting my foot out there. It was amazing, I still rewatch it till this time, all the good memories of it.
If you watch Carson's goal, you'll see the amount of touches in the box. They're all blue shirts. It's nothing but Sterling players getting to a ball. And that was the character of the players, because they still believed and they were still fighting. And when the ball hits off the post and it comes back out and then it falls to Carson, he was composed in that moment. Carson used the inside of his foot and just tucked it away. So after we scored the first goal, we then got the red card. The red card was, it was a soccer play. It happens. Sort of a breakaway, player gets taken down. It could be a red card, and it was given in this game. So at this point, there's a lot of things that have to be adjusted. Jesus has already went from the midfield to replace Anthony in the back line. And, now we basically have to play 2 men down. So we're going to play 4 defenders, 4 midfielders, no strikers.
That was the most stupid red card I've ever received. That's my first ever red card. But Broski was on a run, whatever he was doing. And then I felt like I got a ball. And then he tripped. Well, I don't even know what happened. I think he tripped. And then I tripped. And then the referee thought I tripped him. And then they talked for 3 hours just to give me a red card. Like, why did you take so long to give me that red card? And then having to tell me to walk with you and then give me the red card was crazy. I thought I was gonna get a yellow, but it is what it is.
I thought I was gonna die. I'm not gonna lie. When we went down as 2 players, I just kept on running, and once I whistled, I think I fell to the ground, and I just caught my breath for a second. I thought that was I don't even know how we did that, but we did it.
I honestly thought we lost that game, to be honest, and I thought there was not going to be any state finals, but we pulled it off thanks to Q.
Separate cards, 5 of them being yellow.
This one going towards the back post. This one hit towards the middle. A big opportunity for Camardo. Oh my God, and it's in! Quinn Rosado with 9 players on the field has buried it for the Silver Knights. And number 9 comes in massive for Sterling. They take a 2-1 lead over Robbinsville. This crowd.
Well, if you take a look here, buries it into the bottom right corner. I was going to mention the amount of cards, but what only matters is the amount of goals on the scoreboard in Sterling's favor. They're up 2-1 after Camardo with a nice attempt. Bounces right into the right foot of Rosado.
We're holding on 1-1. Robbinsville's going for the win, as they should be, up 2 players. And we're able to get in possession of the ball on our attacking half of the field, and they foul us again. And I remember in this moment saying to a couple players, like, we're going for it. So we moved everybody up because I think there was about 7 minutes left in the game. I knew this was probably our last chance to score a goal in regulation. So I said to Max, who hadn't gone up for a restart all year, Max, we're going for it. Get up there. We sent everybody. I think Dean might have been the only player back. We ran a restart play that was pretty familiar to us. We wanted to get the ball far and then bring it back across. And the difference with this one was Anthony wasn't in the game. So again, with no timeouts, who's going to do what? Who's going to step up and take the role, because the guy who you've been counting on all year isn't there. And in this case, it was Jesus. So Jesus put himself in position to get on the end of the ball, headed it back across. Again, we were doing a lot of running, so we're the first 2 players to get on the ball after that initial touch. Jason gets a touch on it, falls to Q buries it. We're up 2-1.
Jay missed a wide open net. I don't know how he missed that. I talk about it every day to him. And he just missed it. I don't know how the kid's like crazy good at soccer, but he missed the tap in. But thank God I was there, and that run, little arms out, that was like Max Aura moment, if you know what I'm saying.
When Quinn scored that goal, he was coming across. I was there and I missed it. And I was right in front of the net, I missed it. I was like, there's no way I just missed that. And thankfully Quinn was behind me and scored it. And I remember running to the fans and seeing his face, and how happy he was that he scored that goal, and how happy the fans were, and all the alumni and the parents. It was an insane moment and a great memory that I will have forever.
The last couple minutes of that game were the longest 7 minutes of any game I've ever coached. Because we were down 2 men, we were super defensive. We just dug in, and we did it together, the way we had done everything all year. With 10 seconds left in the game, they get their last chance. Kid makes a nice play, hits an unbelievable shot, and Trav, makes the save of the season.
And I just saw that ball just land on that kid's foot, and I'm like, I saw him turn, I'm like, he's shooting this thing. And he placed just a beautiful shot on net, and I reacted at the most perfect time and got a hand on it. I still don't really remember it, or making the save or what I had just done. I bounced up and I was like, what's going on? I didn't even know I made the save. The ball was shot so hard, I thought maybe it went in the back of the net. But I saw all the guys run over and pick me up. It was great. I'm glad I was able to make that play.
Bounces to Lewis, to the outside of the box, a big shot being taken, another one, and Schmidt's gonna have to dive, and it misses!
It's a good shot by Goldberg.
They're gonna let the corner get off.
And the whistle has blown! Sterling has beaten Robbinsville! The scene electric, the student section storming the field! Sterling has slain the beast and is gonna move on to the New Jersey State Final!
It was kind of unbelievable. It was a lot of shock by everybody. Like, did that just happen? What just happened? How did that happen? And, again, I was just so proud of the players for overcoming what they had to overcome to win that game.
I tripped on someone and I fell on my face and I got laughed at by a lot of people, but seeing all the super fans running on, I'm like, this team's special, and I knew we were gonna win it.
It's an awesome moment, just going up to my family, hugging my family, and it was a crazy moment. And all the guys, getting all the guys, and that was a big win for us. That was one of the best games of my career, to be honest with you.
But going into the state final, there was a calmness to the group and there was a confidence. And everybody wants to play hard, but some people want it more, and some people are going to play harder. And we knew that was going to be us.
Marlies told us, and we all told ourselves, if we were able to win against Robbinsville, one of the best teams in South Jersey, with 2 men down, why can't we win the state championship? So we went in there with confidence, and we're ready to win.
Arguably biggest game in school soccer history, and I knew I had to be mentally ready for that game as well as physically. So I cleared that Robbinsville game from my head and just went straight to work.
Give me my ring.
Listen, I felt that we were, you know, it's hard to say you're playing with house money, right? But we had nothing to lose. And that's the team that you fear. You fear the team that has nothing to lose because we're there. And I think going in, we just really had that mindset because we wanted to disrupt everybody's season.
You know, I laid in bed. I woke up pretty early just to get myself ready, but when we got there, I knew it was going to be a long bus ride. I got there, and we were the last game of the season, and that was my last game as a high school soccer player, so I know how to make the most of it.
More nervous than I've ever been in my life. I was prepped mentally that I was going into a state game. I told myself the entire week before that this was going to be what was happening, and it's just when the time comes, it was nerve-wracking. So but we were ready. We were prepared going into the game, and we knew what we needed to do.
Confident. Once we beat that Robbinsville game, I know we was gonna win the whole thing. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah, man, I knew that. I just knew that was gonna happen. They were good. Don't get me wrong, they were good, but we were better. So.
I expected one of those games that it was going to be like we're not going to have too much possession. Watching film, I was like, you know, these kids are good. They're gonna be attack heavy. They're gonna spend a ton of time in possession. And I was like, again, you know, this is gonna be one of those games where our defense had to make plays, and myself. So, you know, mentally, I just had to know that what the task ahead of me was. So just being able to stay confident, and I know my abilities and I know what I'm capable of.
Nerves from the crowd and all the people there, but as the game started and a couple minutes going in, I got adjusted quickly and just felt normal. And it was just a huge game, just had to block it out and just go with the flow.
I was nervous, I can tell you that. I was definitely nervous, but it wasn't my first final. It was a bigger final, but it wasn't my first. So knowing that there was going to be a huge crowd, knowing that there was something at stake, it made me a lot more nervous, but it also knew that I had to play my best game. Stick to the game plan, stick to the way you know how to play, and everything will work out.
Harrison was the real deal. They have maybe the best soccer history in the state of New Jersey. Watching them on tape was, quite frankly, intimidating at times. Their style of play is really high level. And at times we can play that style, but we couldn't play it with them. We couldn't play it all game. So we had to adjust. We had to get the guys to buy into playing a more defensive style for the entire game. And it was a game where we just needed to get through 10, 15, 20 minutes.
Hello everyone, we're here at Franklin High School getting ready for the boys' crazy season to come to an end as they will face against the Harrison High School. And Mr. K, how do you feel about this game today?
It's going to be real interesting. Nobody expected Sterling to be in this game. It is extremely cold and windy. That's going to play a big factor in this game, but we'll be here bringing some live updates before the game starts.
Yeah, it's going to be...
First goal we scored was something we worked on in practice Saturday morning on the turf, day before the game. We knew that they would be in possession. We knew counterattacking would be there, and we sort of knew the pattern in which we wanted to run it, which is kind of a traditional up, back, through. So you play it to your highest player, they're going to bring the ball back, and when you play it to that highest player, you're going to absorb some pressure. You're going to move their back line up so that you can then play it in behind that back line.
Harrison as Sterling goes on a run.
Oh, Jason Camardo with a break, gets past the defensive line. Him and the goalie. Camardo with a shot. Well saved there by Apollo. Another shot taken, and it's in! Sterling has scored!
Yeah, the first goal, it started all the way from the defense, got to me, and then I played a through ball to Jason, and I figured it was a wide open net and he would have it, but rebound came back out to me and I buried it home. My first thought was probably to run to the fans, but ended up running the complete opposite way, but I just knew it was a big time goal and we needed that, especially being the first goal of the game. It was a big motivation booster.
The last 15 minutes of the first half, the game could have been decided. Once they scored that goal, if we would have gave up a second goal or a third goal, the game would have been over. And when we give up that PK, and we've been playing so well and we've been limiting their chances, and we give them a free one, it could have crushed us. But with the character of the boys on the field, that was never going to happen.
Carranza now taking it with a lot of speed. The Blue Wave section standing up high. Bright John looking to take it. He's fouled inside the box. And the whistle blows, and it will be a penalty kick.
Good aggressive play, attempt by Ortiz.
barely got too much of the foot, and that's why we're going to get the penalty.
And Carranza nets it. Harrison has scored, and they knot this game up at 1.
You know, that hurts, giving up a PK early, especially not being able to make the save. I guessed right, but I was kind of late, and I didn't commit as much as I could. Everyone was telling me, "Look, Trav, we got you."
In that game, we knew our work rate was going to have to be super high. They were going to have the ball. We were going to be chasing. We were going to be chasing all game. And we had this midfield, Jesus, Carson, Ethan, Q, and Jason in that game. Those guys ran so much in that game. It took so much work off the back line. It was unbelievable. Harrison gets a corner kick. They scored. They're up 2-1.
Carranza with the biggest kick of the game. Kicks this one towards the far post. Finds Harrison player into sea of blue. That one's going to go in, and he scores! The grade 8, Joel Ruda. And Harrison has taken the lead.
You could almost sense that coming with that stuff around the 6-yard line. Harrison's been putting the pressure on.
Yeah, that was a weird goal. I had just made a save. It kept the ball out of the net, and they got a corner kick off of it. They played the ball across, clearance, deflects. It just bounced around, and it got poked right past me. I really didn't have too much time to react.
How are we going to respond? State final. Everybody that cares about us is in the audience, is cheering for us. Are we going to let them down? Right away, we punch back.
So he kicks it, looking for the far post. That one's in! It's in! Sterling has scored. Ethan Weitzel, how do you do? We are tied.
Yeah, so it was kind of an ongoing joke where I predicted Ethan was going to score pretty much every game because I had a lot of belief in him. I wasn't joking, but every game we'd go into it, he wouldn't score again. And eventually I just started saying, he's saving it, he's saving it, he's saving it. He's saving it for a big moment. He's saving it for a championship. Don't worry, he didn't need it in that game. He's going to get it in the big one. He's going to get it when it matters. And that's what happened. Ethan scores, the biggest goal of his career and one of the biggest goals in Sterling's history.
I can't even really describe it. It was just like a surreal feeling, and I've hit that in club before, and I went for it and ended up scoring it. I saw the goalkeeper more on front post and out, and I saw I could chip it over his head more because he was out of position.
Yeah, so again, we were playing a formation that game that we had not played all year. And we had trained with it the 2 days prior, and we slightly adjusted it in the start of the second half, went back to it at the end of the game. But, we were super defensive. We were playing one striker. We needed to force them to take shots from 20 or 30 yards out and not let them get behind us. And ultimately, as the game went on, that's what ended up happening. The last time I watched it, it dawned on me how good Max was in that game. He made so many important plays in that back line. And the thing that I always loved about Max was, just how tough he is and how hard he plays. And Max loved this defense. He loved being a part of this defense. And, every chance he got, he spoke about, Trav in the back line and best goalie, best defense. And he was, on that day, he was unbelievable. Jesus is a player who I think sacrificed a lot because he's more of a technical player. He could have played higher up the field, probably put up good statistics. And but he sat in that 6 role and he kind of orchestrated that midfield for us. And when he went down with that injury, it was just another obstacle that our team had to overcome. Somebody who never steps off the field, who's the anchor of your midfield, is now out of the game for the last 20 minutes of the state final. So one of the things we did different this year was we didn't use the bench as much, which meant the players on the field had to play extended minutes. And I think ultimately when we get to that Harrison game, that's going to help us because guys had been used to playing 60, 70, 80 plus minutes every single game. Carson Wiley's an example of that. Carson's playing this midfield. He doesn't stop working. He's running. He doesn't come out of the game in the midfield, and he just works and works and works and works. And it's the type of stuff that goes unnoticed because, you know, he isn't necessarily making the pass, the assist, the goal, but the work rate was there. And as a coach, when you see a player giving that game in and game out like Carson did, it's just, you know, you just appreciate it so much.
So, Mr. K, our overtime streak continues. 2-2 the score after a couple of goals from both teams. 5 minutes will be the break, and we'll be right back at you with overtime action here.
Played so good all game, and you could tell that guys were tired, but nobody quit. And I knew, I was like, you know, someone's going to get a goal. Like, this isn't going to penalty kicks. You know, we've worked so hard for this.
The adrenaline just took over me, and I've been playing 80 minutes all year, so luckily enough I didn't get injured all year, so I was prepared.
Our communication as well as our trust within each other and our belief in ourselves that they weren't going to beat us one-on-one helped us stay secure in that game.
First half of overtime, and we weren't playing for PKs. We had not made any mention of, hey, let's just get this thing to PKs. That was never our mentality. And, you know, so we were still sticking to the plan, which was counterattack when the opportunity presented itself and restarts, if we could. You hear this kind of as a cliche, like we're built different and we're built for this, but this team was built for that moment. And from the first game of the year, we went to overtime, won it in overtime. We played 7 overtime games over the course of the season. We were prepared for that moment. We were fit, we were confident, we had been there before, not on that stage, but, you know, we had played a lot of overtime, and we had, you know, a belief that it was going to come. At the end of regulation, we had a free kick on the opposite side of the field, and there was an injury prior to it. And one of the boys came over to me and said, hey, knock this thing short across the field, change the angle, play it far post from there. And we did the complete opposite. So coming off of regulation, I'm like, yo guys, we had that set up. Why didn't you run it? Next time you get a chance, run it. And something that we had worked on in practice, going far side, you know, it just shifts sort of the point of attack a little bit. So this time, the foul occurred right in front of our bench and going the opposite direction. So Anthony's basically standing right in front of me, and I said, hey, knock it to deep. So he plays it across, good ball into the box. Connor makes an unbelievable effort.
Planning on heading it at first, but it was too low, so had to give it a little show, a little flick to Jason.
And then, you know, outside the foot, out of the air, first time pass to Jason. Like we had said, he was the guy we wanted to have the ball. He was in that position for a reason. As soon as that ball fell to Jason, the game was over.
Ortiz sending it to the far side. Doesn't look like any Harrison player was ready for that. Collins has a second, steps up, takes the shot. This one going into the box, finds the foot of Connor Maynard. This one takes off, and they score! Sterling has scored! Jason Camardo has won it, and Sterling is the state champions! Sterling has scored! I can't believe it! For the first time since 1976, Coach Marley's and the Silver Knights have won it! Wow. Who else but Captain Camardo and Sterling has defied the odds? Mr. K, do you believe in miracles?
I'm stunned. I am absolutely, what an amazing, I couldn't be happier for this, for Coach Marley's, for his team. Camardo, they say, gets the game-winning goal. It looks like there's a parade coming to Sterling.
All year and be able to hit the game-winning goal to help us win states. It's amazing. I can't even describe it, bro.
that goal, it was like fireworks inside my heart. I'm not gonna lie. Like, he started running around the field, and it was Dean, Morley's, and I. We like jumped up. I think there's a photo. Like, we jumped up into each other's arms, and like we were just like, wow, like we couldn't believe we did it. And winning a state chip, it was insane.
Oh, honestly, I was talking to Alfredo when he scored, and mid-conversation, I basically pushed Alfredo to the side to see the whole Connor's flick and then Jason's goal, and I ran like crazy. Honestly, I looked like I was a psycho running out on the field.
You guys know me. I don't show a lot of emotion. I'm not a big celebrator. I think I was the first one on the field, and I went and found Anthony and Dean, and we had a moment. Trav, you joined us. It was awesome. And again, I'm not somebody who typically likes all that fanfare and all that stuff, but we had earned it. And I remember having a conversation with Anthony and Jason last year about awards, and I said, I don't want a single award until we do something to deserve it. Bus ride home was awesome. To be honest with you, a lot of people asked me that question. It was kind of quiet. I think we were so exhausted. I think everybody, like, the adrenaline was coming down. I was sitting with my son. He was holding the trophy. It was cool.
Getting back on the bus, it was great. We had the music playing. Sadly, the speaker died. Thank you, Ethan. But no, to just be able to just sit there and just take it in with everybody, and just like, it was awesome. Like, just turning around and just seeing Jason sitting there. Everyone was drained. It was almost 100 minutes of soccer.
It wasn't good for me. It was good for everyone else. I had to use the bathroom so bad, I thought I wasn't gonna make it. But once I made it, oh my God, that was one of the best feelings of my life.
I remember sitting on the bus. I couldn't even feel my legs. They're hurting so bad because all the adrenaline and stuff. I was cramping everywhere. It was such an amazing moment. The bus ride home, everyone laughing like we really just did this.
It was amazing. It was one of the best feelings ever. It was like we were one big family.
Game winner, baby. I love it, boys. Let's go. Yo, he said he was going to get that goal, and he got that goal, man. Way to be, kid. He owed us. He owed us that, and he got it. I looked him right in the eye. I said, this is effing it right here, guy, and he did. Gotta bring that one out. Let's go, Stitch. Congrats, baby. Let's go.
So in case you're checking out, the Knights have won the state title, and we're getting ready for the bus. They're getting the whole escort coming down. We're going to give you all that here in a second. Right.
Let's go!
Let's go, Knights!
Come on, son!
Where did Georgia
Go! We stay chin! Come on! Oh yeah! Let's go! Let's go!
Let's take this picture.
Yeah, big card. Yeah, big card. Score around. That's not going legs. Oh wait, we got another one. Just amazing scenes here at the Chaos.
Good job. I like it. Anything good? Is that the game-winning shot?
How did you get on so quick?
Is that the game-winning shot, Trevor? What do you got? Nice.
When I go back and I tell future teams about 2024 team, it's going to be about how together they were and how complete of a team it was. We did not have a superstar on this team. The last 6 goals of the year, sectional final, state semifinal, state final, scored by 6 different players. Bright scores a goal in the sectional finals, first goal all year. We get into the state semifinal, Carson, second, third goal all year. State final, Ethan, first goal all year. You never knew who was going to step up on this team. But we knew that somebody would because we were complete and we were a team first. They completely embodied the idea of being a family first, and it was so obvious when you watched them out there play for each other, play for their families, play for the Sterling soccer family in this community. It was so obvious that they were playing for something larger, and that carried us all the way through.
They weren't the most talented team. They weren't the most flashy team. They just were the best team.
I mean, ultimately, it was a great season. We didn't get all of our goals done, but we got the main 2 done. So I definitely wanted to thank Marley's and the coaching staff for putting in their effort and all their time to see us succeed, and seeing Marley's give any emotion at all is crazy, and seeing him cry and how happy he was and celebrate with his family made me happy and brought tears in my eyes. And I wanted to thank obviously the team and my parents and my family and friends and everyone who came to support this great season, because it really meant a lot and it really helped us win.
And if there was one word to describe this season, it would be insane. There's a lot that happened in the season, and I think that because we were a family, we were able to get through that. Injuries, losses, everything in between, mental struggles, physical struggles, pressure, everything. I think we were able to get through that because we're a team, and we were supported by our families. Our families played a major role in getting us to where we needed to be, and I don't think we can thank them enough. I don't think they get enough spotlight for that, as well as the fans from our school. They were there for us in the playoffs. They pushed us. I truly believe that they pushed us to win, and we felt stronger with their support.
The season was great. I would like to thank Marley's, Behringer, Goffredo, Sowers, matter of fact, and especially Goffredo, because he was the one who built me up. Because playing JV, he built me up, and then B was kind of like a dad, because he would be hard on me, saying I'm trash. Again, I'm trying to get in my head, and then Marley just being a coach, being strategic, whatever he be doing. But I like to thank the coaches for sure, and then the players, my guys for real, everybody, Trav, Max, Ant, Dean, Jesus, Carson, Wesley, what's his face? Ethan, Q, Jason, Connor, everybody, the whole team, even the defense. Even the bench, Will Stubbs.
Pretty cool. I remember I was just standing on the bench, and I'm hearing Marley's yell at Dean to dribble forward. He kicks it. I can't really see because everyone's blocking me, but all I see is a ball roll to Jay, him kick it in the back of the net, and I just ran on the field, and I didn't even know what to do. I just ran till I found someone. I think I gave like Connor a hug or something.
I mean, from the beginning of the season, it was like I had no doubt we would make it far. I think we would win states? No. But I thought we would at least make it up to maybe quarterfinals, semifinals. But the fact that we just kept pushing, like kept ending seasons, it was like it's just more hope in my heart every time. And it was just so happy to see everyone, like that West Deptford game. That was probably one of the biggest turning points. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. And it was Robbinsville after that? That's a game in history. Like, we were down 2 people against 11, and we won that game.
I think the season went great. Towards the end of the season, we started winning. Then we eventually won the championship. I like to thank Marley's, all my coaches, all the seniors, all my teammates, on just giving me a really good journey in my first year of high school. And I just hope that next year goes similar and stuff.
I would like to thank Coach Marley's, all the seniors, personally Jesus. Being able to work with him in the midfield was such a great opportunity to see his skill.
Thank you, coaches, for the experience. I had fun as a freshman, and thank you to all the seniors who helped me out throughout the whole season. Thank you to Ant and Jesus for the rides. That's pretty much it.
Final thoughts is it was a big motivational season. All the way from last January, our main goal was the division, the conference, state champ even, and we completed that. So just wanted to thank Marley's for all the motivation he's given us throughout the season. I'd like to shout out Jason. He played a big role in our attack, especially with me at the start of the season. And when he got injured for the non-conference games, I realized how important his role was, and it taught me that I need to step up and take responsibility on myself. So.
To be honest, I just want to thank the coaches, teammates, obviously, everybody that worked so hard to get to the point that we're at, and I'm just really happy that we were able to accomplish what we wanted to by the end of the year, and I wish everybody luck in the future.
I think it's still surreal, right? It's still really cool to feel like that's something that we've accomplished, and it's also really cool to just see the different narratives of the different kids throughout the season that I really enjoyed watching, right? I loved watching the maturation of Dean as a player and as a defender. I loved seeing Bright go through ups and downs, even in the state final and being able to overcome them. I loved to see the leadership of Anthony in the back, the young guys contributing, right? And stepping up in roles. I love to see the formations changing and everybody adapting and committing to that family member. I mean, those were really cool things to experience throughout this entire season, for sure. And this is mainly for Galfredo and Marley's. Galfredo, you know that we're the best coaching staff in South Jersey. You know that.
Winning a state championship as a senior, getting, a jacket and a ring as a senior with all, my friends as seniors that we've been playing together with since we were 4 years old is just so awesome and surreal that we could do it and end our careers, or most of our careers, as seniors with a win.
I feel like we could have done more. 5 ties, that was a lot. Our record should have been 22-2. Should have won conference, should have beat Heights, should have beat Haddon Township the second time. I'll give West Effort their win. Should have beat Cinnaminson, should have beat Shalleck. Without Jason Camarda, we really couldn't, finish.
Not many one other Sterling team won states, right? So not many have this experience, not many can say that they did what we did. And also, I want to say one thing. Watching the Harrison game, Mr. K said one thing, and he said we weren't the best team, and we weren't the most talented. It takes talent to do what we did, and no other team had more talent than us. In the midfield, up at top, in the back, and the net.
It was one of the greatest experiences I've ever had as a coach. It was one of the funnest experiences I've had, if not the funnest or defining moment of maybe my career at Sterling. And to be an alumni and be here to do that, I'm very thankful to be here.
I give thanks to all the coaching staff. They helped me through a lot of it. It was just, without them, I don't think I'd be here. Especially my parents and all my friends and family that came around to support me and just be there.
I've played in numerous different sports. I've played for numerous different teams with hundreds of different teammates, and I've never had a group of teammates work so well together as our defense did. We moved as one, we flowed as one, we practiced as one, we worked out as one. It was a team thing. It was a great connection that we had, and the players, they were awesome. Ant and Dean are phenomenal defenders, two of the best defenders I've ever played with, and Travis is the best goalie I've ever played with, and I've had him as my goalie for like 10 years, man. It's great having him back there all the time.
Amazing. Probably one of the best seasons of my life with the team that I love the most.
Something special and to remember my whole life, man. I knew going in this year, last year wasn't good at all. So this year we had to make something worth it because how much skill and how much players that had value to the team, and we did it, man. And I knew it was gonna happen in my brain the whole time. Like we knew that in the summer, so it was something special.
I think we exceeded and did everything that I thought we could. Just, you saw it in the winter. Guys were at school at 6:30 in the morning, and from then all the way to that state final game, everybody was committed to each other, not just themselves. The coaches, they were awesome, waking up early with us to get in the weight room, and, just how much trust they had in us and how they set us up to succeed. This truly was the most special team I think I've ever been a part of, just because not just on the field but off the field, guys loved each other. Pizza parties and pasta parties and just going out after practice, going to get food. Like everybody cared about each other in ways that I've never seen before, and I think that's what will stick with me the most, is that these guys, as we always say, it's a family. Like these guys really are family forever.